Hey guys, Sturts Lab. This is an example of taking you to Google Earth to create your project for your ocean floor expedition. So right over here is where you'll be creating your projects. And I'm just going to give you a few things that you want to think about as far as putting these in, starting with a beach that you want to start at, so that you can show the first three features. I think is what we have is the continental shelf, continental slope, and then the continental rise. So basically, if I just chose Pfeiffer because this is one of our favorite beaches for Monterey, and if we zoom out, and actually the other thing you can do, if I'll put myself over here, you can hit this little compass spot and it reorients for north. And that might help you as you're spinning to be able to see. Here we go. So all this is the continental shelf. And then as I pull back, you can start to see the shelf break here. This would be the steep part is the continental slope. And then that slope comes all the way down to kind of where the sediment's just building up on the lower part, which would be the continental rise. So as I keep pulling out, that probably becomes more clear. So all the way down to basically the abyssal plain. But as you pull back further, you can see that continental shelf. And by the way, that's quite a bit smaller than it is over on the other side of, look at the size of the shelf over here on the Atlantic side. But you pick your beach, and then you can talk about, where the shelf is versus right where that ridge is the shelf break, and then down here is continental slope, that's the steep part, and then where you're depositing the sand down below as you pull back, that's the continental rise. Okay, so let's say I wanted to go to a seamount. All right, you would have to already have researched, like do a Google search for a specific one. I'm going to put in Loihi, which is a famous one, but you'll have to do your search for those. But this is a hot spot right off of the big island of Hawaii. And as I pull back, again, pulling back on the wheel of the mouse, this is a volcanic active seamount that basically is ongoing in creating a new potential island. It's underwater still, but the big island is evidence of the most recent island that's on the surface. And then as you go off this direction, you can see kind of the chain of other islands that have now shifted because the plates shifted. In fact, if you pull back further, that's actually our favorite island there is Kauai. But if you pull back further, you can see this whole history of islands from that scenario. So that's just a few, but you're going to want to continue to research yours and then keep adding them to your project that's over here. So it'll flow through the different spots that you want to take people on a tour of and give them, a little background, kind of like I did, of what's interesting about that spot. Okay. That's my little teaser, and you get to create the rest.